The first night, I heard the knocking. I thought it was just the house settling. That's what everyone says about old houses, right? Wood expands. Pipes rattle. Foundations shift. It's normal. But houses don't knock back when you knock on them. I moved into the place 2 weeks ago. Cheap rent. Quiet neighborhood. Edge of town. The kind of street where every house looks like it's holding its breath. My realtor kept calling it vintage charm. I call it smells like dust and secrets. It was built in the late 1950s. Hardwood floors, narrow staircase, a kitchen that hasn't been updated since Reagan was in office. But it was mine, and after my divorce, I needed something that felt like a fresh start, even if that start came with creaky floorboards and a fuse box that looked like it could electrocute a raccoon. The knocking started around 2:30 nay. M3 slow taps. Tup, tap, tup. Not loud, not aggressive, just I was half asleep, staring at the ceiling fan spinning lazy circles in the dark. At first, I thought it was coming from outside, maybe a branch hitting the siding. Then it came again. 3 taps. From beneath me. My bedroom is on the first floor, which means the sound came from under the house. I froze, listening so hard my ears actually hurt. Nothing. I told myself it was plumbing. Old pipes knocking when someone down the street flushed their toilet. I rolled over and forced myself to sleep. The next morning, I checked the listing again. Nowhere did it mention a basement. Just crawl space. Crawl space. That phrase didn't sit right with me. That afternoon, curiosity got the better of me. I went looking for the access panel. It wasn't in the hallway. Not in the kitchen. Not outside along the foundation. It was in my bedroom closet, behind a row of old, built-in shelves. The shelves weren't even attached properly. Just kind of leaning there. Like someone didn't he want whatever was behind them to be easy to find, but didn't he expect anyone to try? I pulled them aside. There it was, a small wooden door, about 3 feet tall. Painted the same off-white as the walls, but the paint was newer, less chipped. Less yellowed. Someone had repainted just the door. My stomach did that slow, uncomfortable drop. There was no handle, just a small metal ring. I hesitated. Then I crouched down and pulled. It stuck at first. Then it gave. Cold air poured out, smelling like wet earth and something metallic, not rust. Something thicker. The opening didn't reveal a crawl space. It revealed stairs, narrow wooden stairs descending into complete darkness. Not dirt, not gravel. A finished staircase, that wasn't on the listing. That wasn't in the inspection report. That wasn't supposed to be there. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and aimed it down. The beam cut through dust particles floating in the air. The stairs went down maybe 8 steps before turning sharply to the right. I should have stopped there. Any sane person would have, but I'd already paid first month's rent and security deposit, and something about the way that door had been hidden made my skin crawl. I needed to know what I was living on top of. So, you went down. Each step groaned under my weight. The air got colder with every inch. By the time I reached the turn in the stairs, I could see my breath. At the bottom, the space opened into a full room. Concrete floor. Brick walls, low ceiling with exposed beams. It wasn't huge, but it wasn't a crawl space. It was a basement. And it wasn't empty. There was a table in the center of the room. Metal, bolted to the floor. And on that table, straps, leather restraints. Cracked with age, but still intact. I felt my pulse slam into my throat. Against the far wall, there was a single metal shelf holding boxers. Labeled, dated. Some of the dates were recent. Like, within the last year. That made no sense. The house had been vacant for almost 18 months before I moved in. That's what the realtor said. I stepped closer to the shelf. The top box was labeled, audio. Underneath that, visual. My fingers trembled as I lifted the lid. Inside were VHS tapes, dozens of TM. Each labeled with a date and a name. Some had just dates. Some had first names written in black marker. The handwriting looked rushed. Angry. I swallowed hard and pulled out one of the tapes. It had a date from 3 months ago. And no name. I don't even own a VCR. But guess what? Was sitting on the floor beneath the shelf. An old CRT television and a VCR. Plugged in. I stood there for a solid 30 seconds, just staring at it, waiting for some rational explanation to present itself. Nothing did. Against every survival instinct I have, I plugged the TV into the extension cord hanging from the ceiling and powered it on. Static filled the room. The VCR already had a tape inside. I didn't put it there. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped the remote. I hit play. The screen flickered. Then it showed a dimly lit room. This room. The same basement. Same table. Same straps. The footage was grainy, black and white. The camera angle was fixed in the upper corner of the room, looking down. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then someone walked into frame. My blood turned ice. It was me, wearing the same hoodie I had on that morning. I watched myself descend the stairs on the screen. Here I moved exactly how I had moved, not even an hour earlier. The footage wasn't old. It was from today. But that wasn't possible. I was standing in the room right now. The version of me on the screen walked toward the table, turned, and looked directly into the camera. He smiled. I don't smile like that. It was too wide. Too deliberate, like someone trying to imitate what they think a smile looks like. Then the footage cut to static. I stood there in total silence except for the hiss of the TV. My reflection in the black screen stared back at me. Normal. Shaking. Terrified. I slowly turned around. The basement was empty. No one else there. Just me. Just the table. Just the straps. Then tap. 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 From upstairs. 3 slow knocks. Directly above us. Above. Ooze. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. The knocking came again, this time heavier. And then I heard footsteps walking across my bedroom floor. I live alone. Every nerve in my body screamed to run upstairs, but the thought of walking into whatever was making those sounds made my legs lock up. Instead, I did the dumbest thing possible. I rewound the tape. I hit play again. The footage resumed from the moment my double looked into the camera. This time, it didn't cut to static. This time, he kept smiling. Then he leaned closer to the camera. Close enough that his face filled the screen, and he whispered something. There was no audio, but I could read his lips. You found it. The screen glitched, and suddenly, the camera angle changed. Now it was positioned at the top of the stairs, looking down at me, standing in the basement. Watching the tape, my stomach dropped so hard I thought I was going to pass out. On the screen, I slowly turned toward the stairs, mirroring exactly what I was doing in real life. Then the version of me in the footage started climbing. One step at a time. The real stairs behind me were empty, but on the screen, he was getting closer to the top. The knocking upstairs stopped, replaced by silence. The tape version of me reached the top of the stairs, paused, then stepped out of frame. The footage didn't cut. The camera stayed fixed on the empty staircase. Waiting. I didn't want to look behind me. Every horror movie cliché was screaming in my head. Don't turn around. Don't look. But I had to know. Slowly, I turned toward the real staircase. Still empty. Still dark. I let out a shaky breath, and that's when I heard it, behind me. A soft exhale. Right against my ear. You found it. I spun around so fast I nearly fell. No one there, just the TV. Still playing, but now the footage showed the basement empty. No me, no movement. Then a figure stepped into frame, from the corner of the room. Not from the stairs. It looked like me, but thinner. Skin stretched tight. Eyes too deep. It tilted its head at the camera, and smiled that same wide, wrong smile. Then it walked toward the table, and began tightening the straps, one by one. Like it was preparing something. Or someone. The TV shut off on its own. Complete darkness swallowed the room. The extension cord overhead snapped with a spark. I don't remember climbing the stairs. I don't remember slamming the basement door shut. I just remember dragging the shelves back in place and shoving my dresser in front of the closet. I grabbed my keys and ran out of the house barefoot. I didn't stop until I was halfway down the block. When I finally looked back, the lights in my bedroom were on. I never turned them on. Through the window, I saw a silhouette, standing perfectly still, watching me. It raised its hand and knocked on the glass 3 times. Tap, tap, tap. I left that night, didn't pack a thing. Didn't go back. The landlord keeps calling, asking why I abandoned the property. I haven't answered. But here's the part that's messing me up. Yesterday, I got a package, no return address. Inside was a VHS tape, labeled with yesterday's date and my full name. I don't own a VCR anymore, but I don't need to watch it. Because last night, at exactly 2:13 a.m., I heard it again. 3 slow knocks. From beneath my apartment floor. Subscribe to The Silent Fear for more horror stories.